Welcome to Trigonometry video lecture for section 2.4 on applications. So these are applications involving right triangles, sine, cosine, and tangent. All right, first example, the two equal sides of an isosceles triangle are each 42 centimeters. If each of the two equal angles measures 25 degrees, find the length of the base and the altitude. So let's draw ourselves an isosceles triangle. Remember, an isosceles triangle is one in which two of the sides have equal length, they're congruent, and then those corresponding base angles are also equal in measure. So they're telling me that these two equal sides are 42 centimeters long, and the two equal angles are 25 degrees. All right, now I can't assume I have any information about the remaining side or angle. They want me to find the length of the base, this is the base, and the altitude. The altitude you can think of as also the height of the triangle, and the altitude always hits the opposite side at a 90-degree angle. Okay, so the altitude, we'll label that H, and let's start off by finding that first. Okay, so what I want you to do is actually focus in on the fact that we have two baby right triangles sitting inside this isosceles triangle, and we're just going to focus on this one right here. So if I want to figure out the altitude or the height of the triangle, I can use this 25-degree angle. Since I'm inside a right triangle, I'm going to use my right triangle trigonometry. H is opposite the 25-degree angle. And this side here that they've given me is the hypotenuse. So I'm working with the opposite side and the hypotenuse side in reference to the 25-degree angle. It's time to use sine. So sine of 25 degrees is equal to the altitude H over 42, which means H is 42 times sine of 25 degrees. And they didn't say how far to round, so I'll tell you right now. We're going to round all answers to 2 decimal places. So for the 2 times sine 25, you're just going to do that in your calculator, and you should get 17.75 centimeters. Beautiful. Now, what about the base? Well, what we're going to do first is find half the base. What do I mean by that? I'm going to call this side here x. And let's work on finding x first. Now notice here, if I'm looking again from the vantage point of the 25-degree angle, x is the adjacent side, and I'm given the hypotenuse 42 centimeters. So that means cosine of 25 degrees is equal to x over 42. So x is going to equal 42 times cosine of 25 degrees. Well, that's not the base. The base is actually equal to 2x. So the base, which is 2x, is going to be 2 times 42 times cosine of 25 degrees. You do that in your calculator, and you should get 76.13 centimeters. All right, very good. So hopefully that example was straightforward. Remember, up till this point, all we know how to work with are right triangles. So even if it may not seem like you're working with the right triangle initially in the problem, there is one in there hidden, even if you have to cut your triangle in half or something. Now, to do the next example, we need to understand the following definition. An angle measured from the horizontal up is called an angle of elevation, and an angle measured from the horizontal down is called an angle of depression. These angles of elevation and depression are always considered positive angles. All right, so if a 57-foot flagpole casts a shadow 34 feet long, to the nearest 10 minutes, what is the angle of elevation of the sun from the tip of the shadow? Okay, so here's how you have to think about it. This flagpole is here, and it's 57 feet long. So this is 57 feet. And it casts a shadow that's 34 feet long. Well, let me not draw it longer than the flagpole. So this is 34 feet. That's the shadow. It's asking, what is the angle of elevation of the sun? So the sun's going to be up here, directly above the flagpole, from the tip of the shadow. So from here, what is the angle of elevation of the sun? So what are they after? The angle of elevation is going to be this angle down here from the horizontal measured up. Okay, well, let's see. If I'm after this angle here, theta, let's call it, what am I given? What am I working with? Well, I have the opposite side and I have the adjacent side. I don't have the hypotenuse, right? This right here is my 90-degree angle. So this is the hypotenuse. I'm working with the opposite side and the adjacent side. That means it's time to use tangent. So tangent of theta is going to equal 57 over 34. Since I'm trying to find an angle this time, I need to use an inverse trig function. So theta is going to equal tan inverse of 57 over 34. And then do this in your calculator. Okay, so tan inverse of 57 divided by 34 is about 59.18, and it keeps going, 429.425 degrees. Now they want this rounded to the nearest 10 minutes. So I want to convert this decimal portion to minutes. I don't want to have any rounding error in my calculator. So what I'm going to do is just subtract 59 right now so I can focus on just the decimal portion and I'm not clearing anything in the calculator. So right now it says 0.184294248. And this is currently in degrees. To convert it to minutes, I'm going to multiply this by 60. And it wants me to round it to the nearest 10 minutes. And right now this comes out to 11.06 minutes. Well, if I'm only rounding in increments of 10 minutes, meaning 10, 20, 30, this is closest to 10 minutes. And then remember, we still have our 59 degrees. I just subtracted it so I could focus on the decimal portion and convert that to minutes. So this is 59 degrees and 10 minutes. All right. Very nice. Let's look at a couple more examples. We're not going to go too wild on this, don't worry. Example 3. A ladder is leaning against the top of an 8.5-foot wall. You know, that's actually standard. If the bottom of the ladder is 4.5 feet from the wall, what is the angle between the ladder and the wall? So here's the wall, 8.5 feet, and the ladder is leaning against it, and they told me it's 4.5 feet from the base. Okay. So this is 4.5 feet. Here's my right angle. This is the ladder. Okay. All right, not too shabby. What is the angle between the ladder and the wall? Where's the angle that they're describing? It's up here. This is the ladder. This is the wall. So how can I figure out that angle? Well, again, they didn't give me the hypotenuse. I'm after this angle. I have the adjacent side and I have the opposite side. So it's time to use tangent. So tangent of theta is going to equal 4.5 divided by 8.5. Again, since we're trying to find an angle, I'm going to use an inverse trig function. So that means theta equals tan inverse of 4.5 divided by 8.5. And we'll just round this to 2 decimal places. So go ahead, punch it in your calculator. I'm double checking everything right now with you. And I have 27.897 27, so rounding that to 2 decimal places, that would be 27.90 degrees. All right, I didn't love that box. Let's do a nicer box. Very good. Okay, last example. Before we dive in though, we need to understand the following definition. So the bearing of a line, L, is the acute angle formed by the north-south line and the line L. The notation used to designate the bearing of a line begins with N or S for north or south, followed by the number of degrees in the angle, and then it ends with E or W for east or west to indicate which way the line is swept out in reference to that north-south line. Okay, so here we go. San Luis Obispo, California is 21 miles due north of Grover Beach. Okay, so here's Grover Beach, and apparently SLO is 21 miles due north of there. If Arroyo Grande is 6.4 miles due east of Grover Beach, this is Arroyo Grande, and they're telling me this right here is 6.4 miles. What is the bearing of San Luis Obispo from Arroyo Grande? So they want the bearing from Arroyo Grande. What does that mean? That the north-south line is going to go through Arroyo Grande. You can draw basically your coordinate system and just place the origin wherever you're calculating the bearing from. So here's north, south, east, west. They want the bearing of San Luis Obispo from Arroyo Grande. So they want which angle? They want this angle right here. You always calculate bearing from the north-south line to the line that connects the origin to whatever point they're talking about. Okay, so if we want that angle, a couple things we can do. We can just extend this and draw another triangle up here, or if we calculated the value of this angle, we know we have alternate interior angles that are congruent. That's back from geometry. I'm going to assume you forgot that, so we won't do it that way. So I want you to just focus in right now on this right triangle right here so we can figure out what theta is. Okay, let's go ahead and label it. So this is my right angle. And I know this side up here is 6.4 and this side is 21. So if I'm after theta, I have, again, the opposite and the adjacent side. So tangent of theta is equal to 6.4 over 21. That means theta is equal to tan inverse of 6.4 over 21. We're going to round this to 2 decimal places again in our calculator. So tan inverse of 6.4 divided by 21. And you should get, I have 16.949222423. So that rounds to 16.95 degrees. Now, for our final answer, we have to write the bearing properly using N or S. Well, San Luis Obispo, SLO, is north of Arroyo Grande. So we're going to have north 16.95 degrees, and it was west as well. And that's your final answer. Bada bing, bada boom. Now you're ready to go sailing. Okay. So that concludes the lesson. In fact, that concludes the unit. After this, we're going to dive into chapter 3 and look at reference angles.